looks like in just a second. So yeah, at a high level, it's an exciting feature because it allows us to, it's broadening our feature set to be able to integrate with other platforms that are useful to mortgage brokers. So this one's very exciting for us to be able to show that. All that to say, this one might be a shorter webinar just because, just showing the integration is actually pretty quick. So, but I wanted to set this up just because it is very exciting integration for us, and it's something that I definitely want to feature. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Just give me one sec. And you should be seeing it now. Maybe give it a second. So, yep, now I'm sharing my screen. So what's in front of you now on your screen is what should be familiar to most folks here, which is basically the BluMortgage screen. And so what this is it's going to be, just everything that you're familiar with, which is a big focus of ours, is that even though we're introducing new features, everything is extremely familiar to you. So that's the home page, that's fine. And then I've just opened the mortgages page here. And so this is really where a lot of folks spend their time and where we'd like to focus. And so in here, the thing that I'm looking at is basically, if I'm going along, this is your standard pipeline, right? So you can see you got, different folks at different stages, and you kind of manage it here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in, I'm just going to click a random deal. Why not this Finley 2021, the first one at underwriting in progress. So underwriting in progress sometimes means different things to different people. Maybe it means you're underwriting internally, or maybe it's with a lender. But in either case, I'm at this stage now, and I just got an approval, which is great, which is, exactly what we want. And so with that in mind, now I can come in here and say, whether it's from the previous screen, click and dragging, or what I can do also is I can hit conditionally approved, and then I'll refresh the page. And so now, as you can see here, basically within this, you can see that there's two tasks, two to-do list items that come with it. And there's the standard one that comes in most BluMortgages, get come in and have it signed by client. And we also add this new one, which is order the appraisal. And so with this in mind, basically now we're at the stage that you can use our extension, which we call our add-on, to actually as it suggests, actually do the order the appraisal. So what does that look like? So basically the first thing, I'm actually going to walk through the whole process of installing the extension, because that's something that needs to get done, and then actually using it. So what you'll get from, and what we've communicated in some emails, but you can get from your BluMortgage representative, is a link basically here. So what you can do is you can come into here, and with that link, you can paste it in, and once I hit enter, it's going to do some work on the back end, and it's basically going to prompt me to say, hey, do I want to bring in this BluAppraisals add-on into my version of BluMortgage? I can say, yes, I want to do that. So I'll just check both of these boxes. I'll hit continue, and then I'll install for all users, and then I'll hit confirm. So really, it's that easy in terms of installing it. And so now that it's installed, now I actually have the ability to go back to that previous mortgage, and from that screen, order an appraisal. So let's see what that looks like. So very easy to install and do that. Let's go back and see what this looks like. So I'm going to hit refresh. And so now, because I've installed this, and after I refresh, you can see in the top right corner, a little bit hard to find, but it's there, and something that is so really the purpose, not in your way, but it's there if it's available for you if you need it. So I can come in here and I can see, look, it says submit appraisal order, and that sounds like exactly what I want. So I'm going to click, and it's going to load. And the first thing it's going to prompt me to do is choose a provider. So you can see we have the one provider right now, Value Connect. They're doing some great things in the appraisal space. Really impressive what they're doing, and with that, we are able to integrate with their platform and offer that Some folks have reached out asking about different types of appraisal platforms. So without naming names, we are actively working on this to build out this list so we have more available. So you can use, depending on your preference, who you like to actually order your appraisal through. And so I'm going to do that. I'm going to hit start order because that's the one that is available to us. And the really cool thing here now is that all of my information that I would have had in my actual CRM, you can see Finley and his phone number is 55555. But if I go down here, I see that's exactly what it was. So all the information that was in my CRM automatically captured in this form here. So you can see, okay, email, that's great. And maybe, you know what, I go in here and say that actually that's not right. Say his number is actually 647-555-0305. I don't know. So I can put that in and I can actually update information just so I make sure anything that I'm actually submitting to the appraisal platform is completely up to date. And everything else looks good. Okay, actually I could put in a purchase value for the home, actually 450. What's the property address? That's good. And then just kind of a security thing here. Make sure that you have consent to share this information. And then I'll hit submit. So it just takes a second or two after I submit. And really, actually, two things are happening right now. The first thing that's happening is the main thing, which we're actually sending the information to Value Connect. That's the main thing, primary thing. And then the second thing, though, that's important is that it's also updating the CRM because I've updated these values here. That actually means that my CRM is now going to be updated to reflect those new values, which is pretty cool. So once we're done this, we're going to go back and double check the CRM to make sure everything was updated. So looks like, okay, my order was submitted. Now to complete it, I just have to go over to Value Connect. So if you don't have a Value Connect account, that's fine. The folks over there can help you out. But basically now you can see it takes a lot of the information that was provided. So, the refi, it's a full order. And then it's just going to ask for a couple more things. So I'm going to say, okay, it was the first mortgage, validate. It's a freehold. You can see that the property value as well as the entire address is already captured. That's great. I can continue through, add other fields if I need to, but I don't need to because it's not mandatory. So I'm just going to continue to validate. Select the lender. So this is something that, long term, we likely will just bring over from the CRM. But for now, it's something we'll put in. And then put in an underwriter contact. So someone at First National who I am in touch with who is going to receive this appraisal or is going to be in the loop on this appraisal. And then finally, okay, property access contact. I'm just going to say it's the client. So then you can see all Finley's information automatically gets added. There's that updated phone number I was talking about. And I'll just say, he's the tenant and we'll review the order. And so really it's that easy. Just like that, I was able to get the information from my CRM, go into the Value Connect platform and set it up and put it through. So the only thing left is I just have to choose who's to pay, either the broker or the client themselves. And then with that, the appraisal order is submitted. So it's a pretty quick process. It took me, all of 2 minutes to grab that information from my CRM and pop it into here. Beyond that, though, the other huge advantage is that the the data is accurate, right? You don't want to on something like this. I call it a fat finger, but basically, hit the 3 when you meant to hit 4 or whatever it is, because that can cause a lot of issues for your appraisal. So you're having very clean data because it's coming, it's not relying on the human to go back and forth. Instead, it's relying on the systems to send data, which is going to be a lot more robust. And so that's it. That's the process of taking the data from your CRM, actually installing it, our add-on, our BluAppraisals add-on, and then through that, actually sending it to an appraisal platform and then completing the appraisal order. So it's a pretty slick process, and it can definitely save quite a bit of time for you in your process. The last thing I'll double check just to make sure is I'll come into here and I just want to make sure that all those updates that I did, because I realized that some information was off when I was submitting it, is actually updated in the CRM. So if I refresh, perfect, look at that. So I can see under Finley, his phone number got updated. And if I go into here, look at that, the purchase price of the home was also updated. And so it's quite straightforward to do, to submit. The data is going to continue to be completely up to date, and it makes it very easy to submit those orders. So really, those are the big things I wanted to show. So like I said, this was probably going to be a quicker demo, but in any case, what I'll do now is I'll simply pause and open it up to questions from the group. Please feel free to put it in the Q&A area of the webinar, or if you don't want to put it in there, make it public facing, please feel free to shoot me an email, and I can answer it from there. So I'll keep the Q&A open for about 3 or 4 minutes, and then we can wrap it up. So yeah, the forum is open for anybody who has questions, and yeah, looking forward to any questions or curiosities that people have. So something I got in, actually this wasn't today, but I was just going through my emails related to appraisals, and I noticed this is a question that someone had, and so I thought I'd bring it up. Basically, the question is, hey, what's the timeline for other services like FNF or Solidify? Like I said, it's kind of under wraps right now. What I can say is that we've talked with multiple providers, and we are looking to bring those in, so it won't just be Value Connect in the near future. There's going to be quite a few other providers, depending on your preference, to submit the appraisals to and integrate it that way. So if you're kind of saying, hey, this isn't for me because I don't use Value Connect, well, don't worry. In a couple months, that's something that we're going to have. So yeah, answers that question. Okay, so I'll leave it open. Like I said, well, it's been about 2 minutes now. So one more full minute, and then we can wrap this up. And, as always, if there's any questions afterwards, please feel free to reach out. I see one question here. The question is, do tasks automatically update once the order is submitted? So it's presumably you have a task that says something related to the appraisal order, and then once you hit submit, that task automatically just gets marked as closed. That's something that actually is not available right now. We have talked about the idea with it is just basically everybody might have slightly different terminology, and so with that, it can be a dangerous game to quickly delete tasks. That's why we didn't do it in the initial launch. We do think there is a way to do that. We're just kind of thinking through the best way to. So currently, that's not available, but there is a scenario in the not so distant future where that gets handled. So thanks a lot for that question, and yeah, that's the answer. There is basically not yet, but likely in the future, in the near future. Okay, great. So I'm going to wrap this up now. So I thank everybody who was able to join. I will, if you have colleagues asking about it, I will send a recording to everybody who registered, so they have a copy of it. And if you have any questions, once again, feel free to reach out at any time. Thanks a lot, and looking forward to people using this. I'm excited about this. So bye for now.